I'm haunted by paper. The texture, the sculpting, the molding. Paper has infinite possibilities. Paper is my medium. I'm an artist. I'm also a veteran of the United States Air Force. Military service is in my blood. My grandpa served in Korea. My brother enlisted after 9/11, and I followed suit shortly thereafter. I was stationed at Lakenheath Air Force Base in England, and as luck would have it, my roommate was Israeli. She spoke of Israel's people, the land, and her family with such warmth. She talked about the Western Wall, how she would go there to pray, writing her prayers on little pieces of paper and leaving them in the cracks of the wall. I was instantly drawn to Israel and the idea of a place where I could go and leave my prayers, my hopes. Years later, back in Texas, a news story about the death of several American soldiers came on TV. The news anchor announced, 8 soldiers died in a crash. And that was, more or less, the end of the story. 8 soldiers died in a crash, and that's it. No names, just the number of people who died. How much longer would it have taken to tell their names, to acknowledge their service, to remember who they were? I wanted to do something to tell the details that no one else was telling. Our servicemen and women are more than just a number. They're more than soldiers. Their sons and husbands, their wives and mothers, and their artists. I thought of my Israeli roommate and the place where people would tuck their prayers into the wall. Inspired by the wall, I created a memorial to service members who have given their lives fighting for our country since 2001. It's called Letters of Sacrifice. It's currently on display at the Pentagon. 6,858 condolence letters, each rolled up to represent every man and woman killed in action. There are far too many letters. The condolence letter signifies the sacrifice of our heroes. It represents the commander who searches for the words to write, and the mothers and the fathers, the daughters and the sons who are left behind to read them. Each letter is placed into a wall of wire 8 feet tall. The empty top of the wall reminds us that we will write these letters as long as war and conflict continues. This year, I had the honor, along with 15 other U.S. veterans, to travel to Israel for the first time with AIPAC's Education Foundation. We toured the land, seeing the borders, meeting with IDF officers, analyzing the security threats, and most importantly, connecting with the people. And then, finally, I saw the wall for the first time. I wedged my own prayers into the barely empty spaces between the stones. I left Israel determined to tell a new story. Like the fallen U.S. soldiers, I wanted to honor the sacrifice and commitment of Israelis as well. I came home and began a new project. Using stories from Israeli newspapers, I created a piece dedicated to Israel and the challenges her people face every single day. For so many years, I've felt a bond with Israel, one that transcends art or even the military. I loved Israel before I saw it. I felt the wall before I touched it. I knew her people before I met them. And now, thanks to AIPAC, I have found you, a community dedicated to strengthening the ties between the democracy we call home and the homeland we call Israel. Thank you.